let's talk about short-term fun, right? Overrated. As a kid, I was never really invited to places. I never really had the chance or money or resources to go out and party and be with friends or anything like that. Oftentimes, I would reject the offer because I'd outcast myself before I had the feelings of being outcasted. So I got used to that. I had a family and stuff like that, but a lot of times I was alone as well. And even like in high school, alone. The popular kid is like everybody knows him thing, but he still ends up always alone. That was me. Long story short, partying, prom, and trying to cold approach and all that stuff was never fun to me. Till this day, I still haven't never stepped foot in a club in my life. You're not missing out on much. See, oftentimes, even now, I get called boring. I get called old man because I don't use these ways of enjoyment, for lack of better terms. But it goes back to the example that I said in my other video about how people hate what they do, so they gotta escape through these avenues, through these short-term fun and desires. But I love what I do. I love the boring stuff. I don't need an escape from anything. The work is fun to me. I've said that many times, of course. The problem is that we all often face, and that's why we're so addicted to social media, we have fear of missing out. We gotta be at that next party. We gotta talk to that next girl. We gotta swipe on those dating apps and see what's on social media. We can't go without none of these things because it'll eat us up. And what I came to realize is that those things will always be there. Let's be honest, bro. Nobody's hitting you up. There's not going to be no emergency. Whatever you think about coping and stuff like that, if you delete your social media. The clubs, the parties, they're always going to be there. And you know what's the problem? You know what's the scary thing? Is that the cool people right now that are going to those places, that are doing those things, they're also the same people that are going to be there. So what are you doing, bro? You really got to focus up. You really got to lock in. Sacrifice the short-term fun, bro. My mom always told me something when kids would make fun of me because we were poor. I didn't have shoes, or, I had old clothes and stuff like that. I didn't get Christmas presents because we didn't have money for Christmas. My mom would always say, okay, let them laugh now and cry later. Because I was one of those kids that had to wait till income tax time, right? And unfortunately, that was a little bit after Christmas. And I'm laughing, but it's not funny. But my mom like, okay, like when all the toys are broken and, they're already thing, I'll give you meaningful things in income tax times. And I'm laughing because it's a little bit embarrassing to say, but that's just how it was, right? And so when income tax time came, boom, that was Christmas for me. I always held that philosophy in my life of laugh now, cry later. So you're obviously watching this because you want to be somebody, or you have some type of flame, some type of desire in your heart. If you really want that, why are you distracting yourself? Why are you escaping? It must not mean much to you. My mindset was like, okay, I'll be the lame for now. I'll be the boring guy for now. You guys have your party, but check me out in 10 years. Check me out in 5 years. The constant compounding effect of progress and growth and focusing is what you want. Yeah, it doesn't happen right away. And yeah, it might be discouraging. Yeah, it's hard. But what's harder is you living 5 years and having nothing to show for yourself. And the reality is that you haven't done nothing to earn these things. You want to play video games. You want to watch these shows. You want to go out clubbing and partying. And then a lot of things I see guys do is like they feel like they're being productive when they're getting all these girls or when they're cold approaching. First of all, I'm not even going to get into it, but that's around. Second of all, you feel like you're the man. You feel like you're on top of all that. Yeah, you got all these girls, but you're still a bum. You still haven't changed your life. You still haven't progressed. So what does that even matter? You're still in the same position. Your family's counting on you, waiting on you, and you're chasing after girls? Are you serious? You're worried about shorty not texting you back. You're worried about that she's giving you mixed signals. Are you serious? But your mom is working a 12-hour job and that she doesn't like, and that's your priority? Like, come on, bro. What you'll find is that once you leave high school, go through the stages of life, the people that you found were partying or that peaked or were having all that fun, later on, like I said before, they're going to be in that same spot doing the same things. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Like if that's their definition of success, if that's what they want to do, cool. But you want more for yourself, right? So why are you repeating what the average are doing and expecting to be successful? It doesn't make sense. Honestly, my definition of fun was never that short-term stuff. And yeah, we fall victim to it because it's kind of tempting and it's easy to get enticed by those things. But the reality is that the definition of fun was always, to me at least, the experiences and the people you love around you. I can just sit at a park on a table, talk to somebody I love for hours, and that being way more fun than going to the club and partying. I can just walk through a trail, no music, no nothing, looking at nature with somebody I love or by myself, and that will still be more fun than partying and clubbing. And it might sound like a cope, but that's really how I feel. In your mind, you should see this way too. There's many other things that I could, would, and should be doing than this. Khabib said, often the sinful things is the ones that you always have to pay for. You gotta pay to get into a club. You gotta pay to drink. You gotta pay a subscription to listen to music. You gotta pay whatever it is, right? And even if you're not paying financially, you're paying for it mentally or physically. But it's like all the good things are always free. And I think that's why we take the good things for granted and we're chasing the short-term fun, right? I've said this a lot. We don't have time. But it's like when you're spending your time and you're trying to spend it wisely, it's like there's so much more other better things that I or you can be doing than the degenerate short-term fun. Like you got a whole hour and it's like you choose to do these things, right? And then it'd be the same people that do these things and you got time to go to the club, you got time to play Black Ops, Call of Duty, GTA, you got time. So it's not time. Time is not the problem. You're just not willing to do the work. You're just not willing to sacrifice these short-term funds, these escapes. You're just lazy. You just don't want it. Like how you say you want it. You just don't want to improve your life. What you're telling me is that you like where you're at right now. Regardless of what you say, it surprises me because people ask me for advice. And then when I give them the advice, they're like, oh, but I don't have time. When I know their habits, I know what they're doing because they tell me. And I'm like, bro, but if you stop doing this, you stop doing that. Yeah. It's kind of like an uncomfortable conversation. And then I'm like, all right, bro, like, let's be for real. You have 24 hours in a day. You're sleeping for 8, right? If you're even sleeping for 8, which I bet you're not, but you're sleeping for 8. You're probably working for another 8. So you got another 8 hours. What are you spending it on? You don't got 30 minutes, 45 minutes to work out, to do a quick workout out of that whole 24 hours, out of the whole 8 hours. They'll be like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I do. So, okay, obviously you don't want it that bad then. You don't want it. You like where you're at. Where you're at is not bad enough. Your conditions are not bad enough for you to think that you need to be better. And that's the problem. Complacency. The question you should be asking yourself is, what do you want to build the foundation of your future on? Short-term fun and temporary escape from reality? Or the hard work, the grueling sacrifice now for a freedom and peace of mind that others won't have later on? The question is up to you to decide. And saying it is not enough, but your actions will prove eventually. That's pretty much it, man. Mad love. Peace.